Master, I came to call Madam for breakfast, but the door was locked and she didn't answer. So we got worried and had to use the master key to open the door. And we checked everywhere, but Madam was not in her room. She escaped from the window. Jungkook looked down from the window. The room was on a great height, yet you managed to escape. As much as he was angry at this point, he was impressed too. He never thought you would repeat the same thing again after getting caught once. He straightened up and looked at the maids and servants who were standing hanging their heads low. Lock down every exit. No one leaves, no one enters. And prepare the finest meal. I want this place spotless and perfect for when I return. His voice itself is so commanding and powerful that no one dares to lift up their head. His eyes darkened and voice lowered to a chilling whisper that carried more threat than his raised tone ever could. When I bring her back, she'll know there's no running, not from me, not ever. He took another step closer while his gaze settled on the head maid, who trembled visibly under his stare. I want this house empty by the time I walk through those doors with her. No one here, no eyes, no ears, just me and my wife. The word wife rolled off his tongue like a claim, a possessive edge so sharp it made everyone in the room tense. His obsession with you was undeniable, suffocating and all-consuming. You all understand? I want her to feel exactly what it means to belong to me. His voice was like ice, but his eyes burned with something far more dangerous. He turned away abruptly, his long coat sweeping behind him as he headed for the door. Before leaving, he paused for a moment and threw one final icy command over his shoulder. Get it done, or you won't live to see another sunrise. You were running through the crowded airport, your heart was pounding in your chest as only you know how you managed to come here. Every second felt like an eternity, but you couldn't afford to stop. The thought of being free, being with your boyfriend kept you going. You have to go away from Jungkook, from this life that wasn't yours. You knew your boyfriend was waiting for you at the gate. Once you manage to leave this country, Jungkook will never be able to find you. But the next moment you reached the gate, the door slammed shut in front of you. No, no. You whispered as panic raced inside you. Jungkook's men were everywhere. They must have known about your escape and he had sent his whole army behind you. You scanned the crowd for any way out. You somehow managed to find an escape, but for now, you can't put your boyfriend's life in danger, so you ran in the opposite direction to dodge his men. And your plan worked. They ran behind you, but you didn't able to find a way to escape. For now, you just have to go from here. Need to hide before they catch you. You somehow managed to exit the airport, but your relief was short-lived. Just as you thought you might lose them, a black car stopped in front of your way and a shiver ran down your spine as you realized it was Jungkook's car. He was here. The door swung open and he stepped outside, his eyes locked onto you while you froze in terror. Enough playing, princess. Get in the car. He ordered while his voice was cold, but you shook your head while backing away, but his man was right behind you, blocking any escape. I said get in the car. He repeated himself, which is like impossible to make him repeat his words, but you were testing his patience. Not this time. Without thinking, you turned on your heels and bolted into the opposite direction. His bodyguard slept speechless at your sharp moves. Jungkook sprint. Get her. His voice boomed behind you, sending chills down your spine, but you didn't dare to look back. You could hear his men closing in. Their footsteps grew louder with each passing second, but you managed to trick them and escape. Jungkook sighed. He knew you are not easy, and that's what he finds it more attractive about you. But just as you thought you might have tricked them, a hand grabbed your arm, yanking you to a stop. You screamed and tried to pull back, but the grip tightened, and you were forced to face your captor. It was one of Jungkook's men. Let me go, you yelled, struggling against him, but he didn't even flinch, instead started to drag you back towards the car. Jungkook was patiently waiting in front of his car. His face was straight, with no expression but cold. Bring her here. The man followed his order and pulled you with him despite your resistance. Jungkook, please, just let me go. You pleaded, but his face was set in stone as he watched you approach. His eyes were dark, and then he started to take steps towards you. You think you can run from me, princess? The man stepped backwards, taking his place as now you were Jungkook's property. Jungkook sat down in a squatting position in front of you and tucked a stray hair behind your ear. You are mine. No one escapes from me. Then why don't you understand this little thing, princess? You shook your head, not afraid of him. Never. I would prefer to die rather than living with a man like you. He stood up and again ran. His man tried to go after you, but Jungkook showed him his hand to stop while he got up. His eyes not leaving your side. He let you run because he knew you won't be able to run, and that's what happened. At a distance you fell on the road because your ankle was strained earlier. Jungkook calmly walked near you. You started sliding backwards, not wanting to give up until the last moment. Jungkook bent down a little. This is useless, princess. I told you can't run. In a snap, he pulled you up and threw you on his shoulder effortlessly as you weighed nothing, and started to walk towards his car while he struggled to break free. Put me down, you said, hitting his back continuously, but he didn't even flinch. He opened the door with another hand and tossed you inside. Your body hit the seat with a force that knocked the wind out of you. He leaned closer while his breath was hot against your ear. You can run all you want, princess, but you'll never get away from me, and I'll remind you again and again until you give up on the thought of running away. I always get what I want. You glared at him as your hatred burning your eyes. I hate you. Jungkook's lips curled up into a smirk as he brushed your hair behind your ear, admiring your face. Hate me all you want, but you're still mine. Before you could respond, he slammed the door shut and came inside from the other side before signaling for the driver to go. The car sped off, leaving you trapped inside with a man you would do anything to escape. The drive was silent, filled with a tension so thick that it was almost suffocating. You sat as far away from him as possible in that little space, staring out of the window the whole time. You couldn't even look at him. Your mind was racing with the realization that you are trapped. But the car finally stopped. Your blood ran cold. You were in front of a massive building. Jungkook opened the door and grabbed your wrist and pulled you out, although the anger in his actions were visible, but he was careful and gentle not to hurt you. He dragged you inside the building. Your feet stumbled as you struggled to keep up. At the end of the hall was a heavy door. Jungkook pushed it over, revealing a dark room lit by a single swinging bulb, and there, tied to a chair, was your boyfriend. Your eyes widened as you looked at Jungkook, who was already looking at you with cold expression. Your heart stopped because now you can only imagine what will happen. What is this? Jungkook didn't answer. He pushed you inside, forcing you to confront the reality in front of you. No, please, don't do anything to him. Let him go, please. I'm begging you. Don't include him. Let him go. You begged Jungkook, while he just came near your boyfriend, who was trembling in fear. Why, please help me. I don't want to die. Jungkook chuckled. Jungkook, please. I will do whatever you say. Let him go. Jungkook looked at you. His blood boiled that his wife was on her knees for another man. This is the man you were willing to throw everything away for, right? His eyes were dark and filled with anger. Jungkook, I will never forgive you if you did something to him. This is between us. Let him go. He's innocent. Jungkook scoffed, looking at your boyfriend. Innocent, I see. I want to know what he has done that you like him so much, that you ran to him even though you knew it's not possible. Because he's not power hungry like you. I hate people like you, my parents and everyone, who just put power above everything. I want to go far away from this life. Jungkook stared at you for a long moment, his jaw clenched. Then he smirked, but there was no humor in it. You think because I have power that I don't know how to love? That people like me are all the same, hungry for more, obsessed with control? You are wrong. He stepped closer to you and his voice dropped low, filled with a dark intensity. Just because I have power doesn't mean I'm incapable of love. In fact, people like me who love fiercely because we understand what it takes to protect what we care about. And those who seem so normal to you, they can be even more dangerous because they hide their hunger better. Jungkook signaled to one of his men who brought forward a file and tossed it onto the floor in front of you. The pages spelled out photographs, text, and documents revealing the truth. He looked at you. Let me show you what your innocent boyfriend really is. Just look how he's been using you from the start. You froze and your heart dropped as you picked up one of the pictures. It was your boyfriend, him with a woman and a child. They were smiling, holding hands. You shook your head as you couldn't believe what you were seeing. No, this can't be true. Jungkook stepped in front of your boyfriend, gripping his hair and yanking his head back to force him to look at you. Tell her what you have been hiding or I'll make you regret it. Your boyfriend's lips trembled, his eyes full of fear. Ryan, I'm sorry. I have a wife, a child. The words hit you like a punch to the gut. You stumbled back, your hand covering your mouth, struggling to breathe. No, you are lying. But he wasn't. The truth was right there, in front of you, and it shattered every illusion you had held on to. I was using you for your money. I never loved you. I just needed what you could give me. Jungkook let go of him and turned back to you, his expressions unreadable as he watched the devastation sink into your face. This is the man you wanted to run away with. This is who you were willing to give everything up for. Your legs gave out and you collapsed to the floor, sobbing as your world crumbled around you. Every dream, every hope you had was a lie. Jungkook knelt beside you, his voice softer now but filled with an unshakable intensity. You hate me for my power, for what I am. But at least I was honest. I told you I'd protect you. Love isn't weak just because it comes from someone like me. It's stronger, fierce. And you're worth fighting for, even if you don't see it. And then suddenly his eyes turned dark once again. He got up, taking a gun out of his pocket before walking near her boyfriend, who was terrified even more. You stayed there, numb and heartbroken. No, please, don't kill me, Ryan. Please stop him. I'm so sorry to break your heart. I swear my intentions were not wrong. Jungkook put the gun in his mouth while his body trembled with anger. Do you know why you deserve to die? You used her, lied to her, fed her false dreams while you had a whole other life. You never cared about her, not once, and for that you don't deserve to breathe. You dare to hurt her when you are a nobody. Jungkook looked back at you, his eyes softening for a moment as he took in your broken state. You may hate me for this, but I will never let anyone hurt you. Not like he did. He made a fool of you and I won't allow him to walk away after what he has done. Without another word, Jungkook turned back to your boyfriend. His eyes were dead, cold as ice. You have been playing games with my wife, but now it's time to end them. Goodbye. The gunshot rang out, but you didn't even flinch. You didn't cry out or scream. You just stayed there numb. The man who had shattered your heart was gone, but the pain he caused had left you hollow. There was no relief, no anger, just emptiness. Jungkook tucked the gun away and walked over to you as if nothing had happened. He brushed the hair away from your face and his touch surprisingly gentle. He didn't deserve you. He didn't deserve to live after what he did. I know you don't understand it now, but one day you'll see that I was right. You looked up at him, tears still streaming, but the fight in you was gone. All you could manage was a whisper, your voice barely audible. Why? Jungkook's eyes softened again. He wiped a stray tear from your cheek. Because you deserve better, and I'll make sure no one ever hurt you like this again. You were sitting on the bed, hugging your knees and staring at the floor. Everything that happened earlier was stuck in your mind. The man you loved, the one you wanted to escape with, was a lie. He used you and you never saw it coming. The pain felt heavy in your chest, making it hard to breathe. You thought you wanted freedom, freedom from this world of power and control, but now you were confused. Everything you believed felt broken. The door opened, but you didn't look up. You knew it was Jungkook. He always showed up, watching over you no matter how much you hated it. You heard the soft sound of plates, and soon Jungkook sat down beside you, placing a tray of food nearby. I brought you food. His voice was softer than usual. You didn't reply, too lost in your thoughts. You couldn't hate him, but you also couldn't forgive him. He forced you into this life, made you part of a world you didn't want to, but was it really as bad as you thought? Jungkook sighed and looked straight. His eyes were soft. That only happens when he's with someone he loves more than himself, and you are always been that person for him. But sadly, you never noticed. I know you hate me. You think I'm controlling you, that I've trapped you here like everyone else, but that's not what I'm trying to do. You looked up at him, blinking back the tears in your eyes. He met your gaze. His face was serious but not cold. Did you not do that? Force me in this marriage when I didn't want to? He looked guilty. I admit that I did because I've always loved you. That's why I'm doing all of this. I'm not trying to cage you or keep you from being free. I just want to protect you. I can't stand the thought of you getting hurt or people using you like that man did. Now you can't even say that he was lying. But I never wanted this life, Jungkook. I thought I could be happy somewhere else, with a normal life, away from all of this. He nodded slowly while his eyes never leaving yours. I know you did, but you have seen now. Bad people exist everywhere, even in the normal world. You wanted so badly. You thought you were running away to safety. But look at what he did. He used you, hurt you. I would never let that happen to you. Not here, not with me. His words hung in the air, and for the first time you started to think about them. Maybe the life you were trying to escape wasn't the prison you thought it was. Maybe this place, as much as you hated it, was the safest place for you after all. I'm not here to take away your freedom. You can do whatever you want, go wherever you want. I won't stop you. The only thing I care about is making sure you're safe and happy. That's all I've ever wanted. Your heart ached as you looked at him, trying to process everything. The man sitting beside you wasn't the heartless mafia boss you always thought he was. He wasn't like your parents, obsessed with control and power. He was just in love with you. In his own way, he was trying to protect you from a world that could be even more dangerous than the one you thought you wanted. You glanced around the room, feeling the weight of it all. The life, this place, wasn't the prison you thought it was. It was where you belonged, and maybe, just maybe, Jungkook wasn't the enemy you made him out to be. I don't know if I can forgive you, but maybe I was wrong about some things. Jungkook gave you a small, sad smile, nodding as if he understood. Take your time. I'll wait as long as you need. Just know that you're safe here, and I'll do whatever it takes to prove that to you. For the first time, you didn't feel trapped. You felt protected. Maybe things weren't as black and white as you once thought. And as you sat there in silence, you realized that sometimes the place you think is hell might actually be the only place where you can truly be safe.